The CCP was founded as both a political party and a revolutionary movement in 1921 by revolutionaries such as Li and Chen. Those two men and others had come out to May 4th movement 1919 and had turned into Marxism after the Bolshevik victory in the Russian Revolution of 1917. In the turmoil of 1920s, China's CCP members such as Mao Zedong, Li Shaoqi, and Li Lixiang began organizing labor unions in the cities. The CCP joined with the Nationalist Party in 1924, and the alliance proved enormously successful at first. However, in 1927, after the Nationalists under Chiang Kai-shek turned violently against the Communists and ousted them from Shanghai, the CCP was driven underground. Many of the CCP cadres such as Mao then abandoned their revolutionary activities among China's urban and went to the countryside where they were so successful in winning peasant support that in 1931, the Chinese Soviet Republic with a population of some 10 million. That entity was soon destroyed by the military campaigns of the nationalists, however, and Mao and the remnants of his forces escaped in the Long March 1934 and 1935 to Yan'an in northern China. It was during the march that Mao achieved the leadership position in the CCP that he held until his death in 1976. Other important leaders who supported him that period were Zhou Enlai and Zhou Di. In 1936, in the Xi'an incident, Chiang Kai-shek was forced to call off his military campaigns against the CCP and instead enter into a united front with it against increasing Japanese military aggression in China. While Chiang Kai-shek's nationalist forces basically sat out the war in Chongqing, the CCP tremendously expanded its strength by fighting the Japanese invaders. By the end of the war, 1945, the party controlled base areas of some 100 million people and had an experienced army and a workable political program of alliance between peasants, workers, the middle class, and the small capitalists. The Civil War recommenced in 1946, and the CCP's lands reform program increased its peasant support. Meanwhile, the nationalists and demoralization cost them what little support they had in 1949 after the nationalists has been decisively defeated and retreated to Taiwan. The CCP and its allies founded the People's Republic of China. In the next several years, the life of the CCP was taken up with the serious disagreements over the course of the country. At the first, the CCP adopted the Soviet model for development and closely allied itself with the Soviet Union. However, the CCP and the Communist Party of the Soviet Union soon found themselves increasingly at odds over foreign policy and ideology. As the 1950s ended, the CCP and the CPSU broke their close ties with each other. Internally, the CCP attempted to hasten China's industrial development with bold but sometimes harmful programs, most disastrously with the Great Leap Forward. In 1966, Mao remained in serious disagreement with several other CCP leaders over the course of China's future economic and social development, launched the Cultural Revolution, and there followed a period of turbulent struggles between the CCP's radical wing under Mao and the more programmatic wing led by Liu Shaoqi. Several other pragmatist leaders fell from power during the Cultural Revolution. An uneasy truce between radicals and pragmatists held from 1971 until 1976. Almost immediately, the radical group known as the Gang of Four, including Mao's widow, were arrested and soon afterward, they frequently purged and frequently rehabilitated. Deng Xiaoping reappeared and assumed paramount power. The Cultural Revolution was formally ended and the program of the four modernization of industry, agriculture, science, technology, and defense was adopted. Restriction on arts and education were relaxed. and revolutionary ideology was de-emphasized. After Mao's death, Hua Guifeng was a party chairman until 1981, when Deng's protege Hu Yaobang took over the post. Hu was replaced as the party general secretary. The post of chairman was abolished in 1982 by another Deng protege, Zhao Ziyang, in 1987. Zhao was succeeded by Jiang Zemin in 1989, and Hu Jintao was elected general secretary in 2002.